fears. It shows your strengths, and it shows your abilities and your disabilities. You know, attitude, when you can do something, you got an attitude, when you know you can do this. I know I can do this, and the attitude will show that you have the confidence that I can do this, and a person will believe you because of your attitude. Because of the attitude that you express when you say I can do this. Attitude determines whether you will fail or succeed in your endeavors. You know, Mike Tyson was one fella that a lot of people got scared of real early in the game. Because when Mike Tyson would come into the ring, and he would be over there just pacing like a lion. As soon as the bell rang, he runs over there. And he boom, 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 fight over. And everybody was watching Mike Tyson, so whenever somebody got ready to fight Mike Tyson, I'm pretty sure that when they got in the ring with Mike Tyson, they were afraid. In particular, one man, when he got into a fight with Mike Tyson, I could see the fear in his face, and you could see the attitude that he had. He was in there because there's going to be a lot of money. And he was in there when Mike Tyson swung at him. He swung at him and missed him, and the man fell out. You can see the fear in his face, his attitude. He had lost before he got in the fight. So attitude will determine your failure or your success, whether you want to you can succeed or you're going to fail. Attitude, you heard that old cliche that attitude determines your altitude. The way that people act, your attitude will determine how far in life you can get. You know, if you got a bad attitude in class, your teacher would always seem to be picking on you. To you, they're picking on you. But they're not picking on you, they're just not giving you no breaks. And the reason they're not giving you no breaks is because you got a bad attitude. That's what the children don't understand. My children come home and say, teacher picking on me. Well, let's go home, let's go and talk to your teacher and find out what's really going on. And the teacher says that, you know, they're always talking. When I'm talking, they're talking or they're whispering and they're passing stuff around. Well, and when I tell them to stop, they holler and say, I'm not doing nothing. But I'm looking right at them, Mr. Kirkendoll. Well, I see what's going on, and so I see why the teacher is not giving them any breaks. And they feel the teacher is really picking on them, but he's not picking on them. It's because of their attitude. They don't have an attitude of learning. They don't have an attitude of paying attention. So the teacher seems to not give them any breaks or any plays. It's because of their attitude. Amen. It's that attitude. So attitude will determine your altitude. It will determine whether you're going to get the job or not. I was in a Burger King just yesterday. And a fella come in there to get a job. And he walks in and his pants is down, pants is hanging. Y'all still taking applications? The owner, I was talking to the owner says, you can't get no application, you can't get one of my applications with your pants hanging down. So he snatches his pants up. Martin says, go over there and ask him for an application. But he may get the application, he may fill it out, but he won't get hired. Right. Why? Because of his attitude. He didn't come looking for a job, a real job. He came in there trying to be like the rest of everybody else that don't want to work. Hands hanging down. Pants on the ground, pants. Watch it. So attitude will determine how far in life you can go. If you got the right attitude about things, amen, you can go far in life. You can get ahead in life. People will support. People will, you will find favor. Amen. And people will allow you a chance, another chance, even another chance, because they know that you got an attitude, you're really trying. You may not be doing as well as the other person, but because you have an attitude of that you really want to do this, you really are trying to do this, they will look past the faults and see that you got the right attitude. Attitude will determine your altitude. We that are saved have to be in total control of our attitudes because we are at war. And how we fight determines whether we win or lose. We're at war. Yes, we're always in a battle. It's with someone, ourselves, or the devil. No matter who, there is always going to be a conflict. Amen. There's always, you can look for it, you can believe it, but rather used to say you can take it to the bank. There's a war that's going on when you profess Jesus Christ, and you're going to always find yourself in a conflict. You're going to always find yourself, amen, fighting this battle that you didn't even ask to fight. Glory to God. Simply because you got saved, you're going to always have some things coming at you, and you got to know how to fight. You can't fight the devil with the same tools the devil uses. The devil talk about your mama, you talk about the devil's mama. The devil hits you, you hit him back. You cannot beat the devil with the same tools that he used. So you got to know how to fight the devil. And so when it comes to fighting the devil, you got to know that, amen, that it's the attitude that you have, amen, when you're fighting the devil will determine whether you're going to win or whether you're going to lose. Glory to God. Now, what is conflict? What is conflict is when you struggle with something or someone. It's difference of opinion. The difference of opinion. You know, a lot of times you may have a difference of opinion. Everybody don't think the same way. Everybody don't agree on the same things. Everybody is different. And so when we have different thoughts, we struggle with one another. And this is conflict. We clash. We have disagreements. These are things that causes conflict. And then when how we deal with these conflicts will determine whether or not we're going to go forward, or whether we're going to stand still, or whether we're going to start backing up. So what should our attitudes be when we are in conflict? What should they be? Our attitude should be like some of the great men that we have read about in the Bible. Our attitude should be like, amen, it should be like Jesus. Our attitude, I oftentimes say that our lives should be the mirror that reflects the image of Jesus Christ. Being Christians, being children of God, we should act like Jesus. I remember just in Sunday school we were talking about, amen, a woman at the bank, and how the woman at the bank was acting very unseemly, but at the end she says, she apologized and she says, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been acting like that because I'm a Christian. Attitude in conflict. Amen. What should our attitudes be like? Well, when you think about Moses, amen, he had conflict. There was many times that the people of God wanted to stone Moses. There was many times they talked about Moses, says, you brought us out here that we might die. Amen. You brought us out here to starve from no food. You brought us out here that we might die from thirst. Wish we were back in Egypt where we did eat melons and pomegranates. Wish we were back there where we had it made. But they forgot about, amen, the conflicts that they had when they were in Egypt. Yes, amen. So they talked about that. But Moses had the right attitude in conflict. Yes. Even when God got ready to kill him, he says, Moses, get out the way, I'm going to kill them all. Moses started running around with incense, him and his brother Aaron, and pleading with God not to destroy the people of God. Because Moses had the right attitude when it came to conflict. He kept interceding. He kept praying for the people of God. Even though they was ready to stone him, even though they were ready to put him down, Moses still, amen, was praying for him. He had the right attitude in conflict. I'm talking about attitude in conflict. When there's a disagreement, when there's, amen, a struggle, when there's some indifferences among each of you, you have to have the right attitude, amen, to profess, amen, to show, to prove, amen, that you are who you say you are. See, I can say that I'm the president of the United States, but unless I can prove it, amen, through my attitude, glory to God. Yeah. So Moses, he showed, amen, the right attitude or right attitude when he was in conflict. And you remember Abraham, God says to Abraham, I want you to leave your country, your kindreds, and I want you to go to a land and I'll show you. And Abraham got up and he left. Amen. But along with Abraham, he took his nephew Lot. They got to a place where the land was not big enough for both of them. They both had a lot of livestock. And the land wasn't big enough for both of them. And Lot and Abraham's herdsman was arguing. And Abraham came to Lot and he says, listen, we shouldn't be fighting with each other. We brothers.